I get this question a lot, and that is people who are selling their house to an investor are concerned. Had somebody ask me today, are there going to be any unforeseen or unexpected costs? So, I mean, the quick answer is there shouldn't be, and there usually aren't. This isn't going to be a 10-second video, though. Let me talk about what the costs are going to be and what could happen if you're not careful. The important part of this is the contract, right? You are going to have an attorney. You should have an attorney. You should be represented by one. And they are going to basically spell out what costs are going to be paid by who. The typical costs paid by a seller, in any case, whether you sell to an investor or you sell to a buyer, if it's listed with an agent, there's going to be transfer tax that goes to the state. There's going to be legal fees. There's going to be any property taxes that are due. And there could be some title fees, right? So if you're paying off a mortgage, the title company may charge you what they call pickup fees. And I can't think of the word, it's so bad. A satisfaction fee, right? They have to satisfy your mortgage. They have to take the money from the proceeds, they have to send it to the lender, and they have to file, and they have to record a satisfaction. Now, unfortunately, in a lot of parts of New York, recording fees are high. So those are the things you're going to pay. On occasion, some investors will cover some of those costs, right? And you can ask for it if you want, and the investor may say yes or no. What's important to understand is that there are no last-minute, out-of-nowhere fees. If you're represented by a good attorney who signed a contract that protects your interest, it's completely up to you. In other words, if a guy says, I'm buying your house for $500,000, and at the closing says, you know what, I'm short 10 grand. I'm only paying $490. You have the ability to say, go jump in a lake, right? Now, if you are not represented, you are really you're at the mercy of a lot of things, right? So what I've seen is that terrible, horrible, unscrupulous investors will do these last minute kind of things to people who are not represented by attorneys. And these are people who already have their stuff packed, who are already counting on the money, and they're in a very weak position, and they agree to last minute bullshit. Now, I've never done this, and anybody who does this, I think, is a scumbag. But if you have a good attorney, your attorney should have the ability to say to the seller, number one, you're paying us every dollar that you are contractually obligated to give us. Number two, if you don't, we are going to keep your deposit, and we're going to sue you for specific performance because we were ready to close and you weren't. Now, understand that most people who are doing this are using this as a tactic to get some money from you, and they actually could close, right? They just believe that you're weak and that you're not going to know to do the things I just told you to do, and hopefully they think that you are not represented, so you are ignorant of the law. But in general, the seller's closing costs are not that significant to the transaction. The buyer's closing costs can be very significant, right? So just to go through a quick rundown, when you buy something, you're not going to have transfer tax, but you are going to pay most of the time. I mean, certain things like new condos will pay transfer tax, but in most cases, you're not going to pay transfer tax. You're going to pay your attorney fee again. You're going to have a lot of closing costs, right? You're going to have to pay any property taxes that are due. If you're borrowing money, you're going to have to pay a lot of lender fees. And those things can add up. It's not uncommon when somebody's getting a loan in my area to pay over $20,000 in closing costs. I mean, when I tell it to people in other states, they can't believe it, but it's expensive, right? Title fees are expensive. Title fees on a purchase can be $5,000 or $6,000 before any tax payment that's due. Title insurance is expensive. Recording fees, as we said, are expensive, extremely expensive. Nassau County, it's like $800 to record anything. So if you're buying something, you're recording a deed, you're recording a mortgage. It's really an expensive proposition. But anytime a seller comes to you with any kind of unexpected BS, I would walk away from the deal right there. I would just say, I'm not selling it to you. You're a piece of shit and not interested. So there shouldn't be any last minute surprises. There really shouldn't. If you're dealing with somebody who's legitimate, there never will be any last minute surprises. Occasionally I have to push off a closing for a day or two because my attorney is busy, or I'm moving. I have private money lender that told me they need an extra day. That kind of thing can happen. That's the craziest thing that's going to happen. I get pushed by a day or two. But nothing else. There shouldn't be any surprises. So, and again, if you're represented by a good attorney who you've met and who really represents your interest, there can't really be any surprises. Can there be a closing that adjourns? Sure. Something comes up, a title issue that everybody thought was taken care of. They get to the closing. They said they'd bring whatever document they needed, and they don't bring it, and it adjourns. That does happen, right? But it's only a matter of time. This will close in a day. This will close in 2 days. Everybody, the title company has to be satisfied. So just to go through what a title company does and why you end up paying them a lot of money on both ends of a deal. Title insurance ensures that when you buy something, you own it. So no Native American is going to come here and say, this was my great-grandfather's land. You have to get out. Also, that you're buying the property free and clear of all liens. So when you sell a property, you're also selling it, and there's nothing that's going to attach to you later. Because if anything is owed by you, it's going to attach to the house, and it's going to have to be paid when you sell. This is really something that's only particular to New York. In other states, things sell subject to liens all the time. I did a transaction in Florida where a guy sold me the property subject to the first mortgage. So that I took over the first mortgage. That's never happens in New York. In New York, all these things get paid. And I used to buy at auctions a lot, and I never had to run title. A lot of people that buy in other states, they have to run title because the lender sells it, and it can be subject to all kinds of other liens. So when you buy a property in New York, you're buying it free and clear of all liens. And when you sell a property in New York, you have no encumbrances that follow you up later. So that is a really, really good part of Europe. But the title company, in order to make sure that everybody leaves a transaction clean and clear, takes money for insurance, and they take money for searches. Right? There's a lot of searches in our area. We pay more for searches in our area than in some states. They pay for the entire closing cost. But we do housing and building searches, and we do street searches, and we do bankruptcy searches, and all these searches and tax searches. And we need to see what's going on. So the title company is responsible for all of that. So if there is a problem later, you can go back to the title company and you can say, hey, you screwed up, fix this, or I'm making a claim, please fix this. This happens often. That doesn't happen often. It happens very infrequently, but it could happen if you get a problem. So I want to be clear. Title companies usually do great jobs. 99.9% of all transactions have no problems later. But it's important to understand that if anything comes up at the last minute with a closing, where the seller says, sorry, something came up and I need to give you less money, you should tell the guy, thank you very much, really F you very much. I'm not selling you the property, and find another investor. And again, I am going to do a recording on competitors of mine who, if you're not selling to me, you can go to, and they will give you an honest offer. So I'm not afraid of that. These people, most of these people are friends, and I respect these people. So I'm going to do a video on some other investors you can possibly get an offer from if you are thinking about selling. But in general, there should never be anything unexpected. The closing costs are pretty standard. Transfer tax to the state, your legal fee, and if you're satisfying a mortgage, there'll be some title charges. If not, there may be almost no charges at all. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in finding out any more about what your property is worth or what your options are to sell, you can call the number that's on the screen. I'm available. You can comment, and I'll respond to it with no problem. You can go to my website. What is that? Sell My House Fast in New York, and you can put in your information and get information if you want to stay in semi-anonymous, and we can give you a value on your property too. But we're here to help you in any way. Even if you're not selling us a house or you're not listing a house with us, we are here to help you in any way that we can. So hopefully this was helpful, and hopefully we can help you in some way in the future. Thank you very, very much for watching.